Congrats on your new iSup purchase. We're going to go over everything you need to know to get started with your new board. Keep in mind, we're constantly improving and updating our product, so if something is a little different, don't worry. In essence, everything will work the same. So either you got the tower inflatable package or the board only. Here's what you're going to see inside your box. If you ordered the board only, you're going to find a rolled up board, a fin, and a repair kit. If you ordered the package, you're going to find the board rolled up, the fin, the paddle, the pump, as well as a repair kit. In the repair kit, you're going to find the wrench handle for the valve, as well as patches if you ever need to patch your board. If you were expecting your board to come with a pump and a paddle and it wasn't there, check your purchase order because it's possible you ordered the board and not the package. The first thing we need to do is assemble the pump. There's 3 pieces to this. First, we want to connect the gauge to the pump. And I want to start with the gauge facing down, so when we turn and tighten it, it's going to be facing up. Next, we need to connect the hose to the pump. Make sure everything is snug. So now that the pump is assembled, we're ready to inflate the board. You're going to want to connect the hose to the valve on the board. But first, let's go over how the valve works. There's a spring inside of it, and in the up position, it will allow air to go in, but not out. And when the spring is in its down position, it's going to allow air in as well as out. So now let's connect the nozzle of the hose to the valve on the board. So when inflating the board, you want to have the valve in its up position. So when you disconnect the hose, no air will leak out. Note that with brand new boards, these can be hard to plug in. So you might have to force it down a bit and twist in a clockwise motion. You will feel it snug and tighten once in place. After a few uses, it will get easier to tighten. Now it's ready to be pumped. Use the complete range of motion to get the most out of every pump. Note that the gauge will only start to move when the pressure gets to at least 5 psi. The board might seem rigid, but the pressure is not there yet, so keep pumping. Don't worry about overinflating it. The board can take a lot of pressure. Pump it up until you get to between 10 and 15 psi, depending on the desired pressure. Once there, unscrew the hose and close the valve cap. Let's install the fin. If you have a board that has side fins, the fins may be a little bent from being rolled up. But don't worry, they'll straighten out over time. And if you want to speed up the process, you can set the board in the sun for about an hour. For the center fin, the one I'm showing you is the 4th generation. So yours might be a little different, but they will essentially work the same way. Place the center fin by hooking the inner hook in first. Plug the pin in through the hole and it should be set. Wiggle the fin and make sure it's secure. The paddle material will vary depending on the package you have ordered. You will have these 2 pieces and this is how you put it together. There's a 3rd piece on the inside that you use to adjust the height. You want to measure it by putting it next to your body and lifting up your arm. The end of the handle should be right under your palm. Lock it in place and you're good to go. Just so you know, you can keep the board inflated for as long as you want. You don't have to deflate it after every use. If you want to deflate it to transport it or store it, here's how. First, you're going to unlock the valve cap, push down the spring, and hold it for 3 seconds. Once the initial pressure is out, you can twist it to keep it locked in place. This will allow the air to keep flowing out. Start rolling the board from the nose, so the fins will be the last part to be rolled. Here's a few maintenance tips for your inflatable paddleboard. You want to rinse it off with water after every use in salt water. The same for the paddle. If you want to clean it, you can use mild soap and water. You can also use Mr. Clean's Magic Eraser for scuff marks. The gray wrench that comes in the repair kit is only used if the board is not holding pressure. To use it, you simply tighten the valve in a clockwise motion. If you want to store the board in an unheated garage or a shed during the winter months, totally fine. Cold is not going to hurt it. That's everything you need to know to get started. If you have any other questions, we have a lot of other videos that will address those questions.